Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Your voice is low.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, now it's better.
Actually, I'm having some doubt.
Okay.
When yesterday I was trying to register an Azure cloud.
Uh-huh.
So, is there any restriction? Like, if we had already used some credit card or debit card, then we can't register with the same again. Like, is that any restriction with this?
I have not tried that, but sure there must be some restriction.
Ach-
Okay, you can try with some other card. I think maybe like someone else card or some other of your card.
Okay, okay then.
Okay, so today our today's objective will be to install a HANA 2.0 database on our VM that we created yesterday. Okay, so I'm connected to my Bayesian host, and inside this, this is my VM that we created yesterday. So you can see it is accessible from the Bayesian host. Okay, for the installation, I have this Excel sheet over here with me. Okay, so here there are different sheets in it. The first one is your information sheet. Okay, it contains all the information about your VM. Okay, like for example, the type of the VM. So it is a cloud Azure VM. Okay, it's a VM on the Azure cloud, and this is the size of the VM E16S V3. So actually this size is for S for HANA application server. So this is not required. We will be using the other size of E4S V3, that is 4 CPU and 32 GB memory. So here it is. So now you see that the configuration has changed. So the CPU will be 4 CPU and memory will be 32 GB. Okay, this is the configuration of the VM. The swap size will be of minimum 2 GB. Okay, this is HANA recommended. Then the disk size, the OS disk that we have created is of 30 GB. The operating system disk is of 30 GB. And the data disk is, we have attached 3 disks of 32 GB each. That is around 96 GB. Okay, and these are the mount points that we will be creating for our database. The slash HANA data, slash HANA log, slash HANA shared, and backup. And these are the tentative mount point file system sizes. Okay, then here is your available product availability matrix. In case if you want to search for any version, verify any version whether it is proper or not, anything, you can verify it on the PAM, product availability matrix. So here is access the product availability matrix. Okay, so here are the most viewed one. The most viewed one. So here I think you can find your SAP HANA to platform edition 2.0. This is the one we are looking for. This page contains all the information about your SAP HANA platform edition 2.0. Official name, product, technology, stand, and this release. When was the beta release? Release to customer. Okay, like NTFS in Windows, what will be the file system for HANA and SUSE? Okay, so just wait for some time. We are going to that point. Okay, so now related product version. These are the related product version. For example, if you want to upgrade it from, so what will be the source system you can upgrade from? Okay, so this is the version SAP HANA Platform Edition 2.0. You can what you want to upgrade to, and this is your add-on product that you can install on this database. Support package tags. Then you have the technical release information, overview, languages, database platforms. Okay, database systems, operating systems. So you can get all this information validated from your product availability metrics. That is it. Now let us what packages is required for our installation. So the OS is already installed because we created the VM on the Azure cloud with the image. So we have all the OS is already ready for the database installation. This is the package that is required for the installation. IMDB server 20059. 059 is the release. Okay, this is the revision. Sorry, this is the revision of our database. This is the information about your system, the domain name of your system, the credential, the root credential, the master password, and the host name. This is the host name of my VM. This is the IP address. So just make sure that I have highlighted the IP address in red, because you will have to change it before you can use this Excel sheet for your landscape. So I will make it as per my IP address of my VM 10.5.1.4. If you want to cross verify, you can check it from here. So the IP address is 10.5.1.4. Rest everything is same. If you want to change it, you can change the yellow fields, the yellow boxes as per your requirement. Okay, these are the operating system users that will be created during the HANA installation. The SAP ADM. This is the user which is for your HANA host agent, SAP host agent. Then your SID ADM user. This is the user for your HANA database. And then you have a DB user. This user will be created inside the database. This is the DB user, system user, and these are the master parcels for the user. Okay, any queries and doubt on this? Okay, so let's move forward to our operating system. So now before we can start with the installation of a HANA database, let us first set up the operating system. You need to set up the operating system so that you can install the HANA database. There are many steps involved. The first step is the operating system check. See, normally you have created this VM on your own, but in case if you have not created this VM, it was created by the system administrator or cloud administrator of your company, and you have only got a direct access to the VM. So once you get the access, you have to verify everything, whether everything is as per your requirement or not. Okay, so to verify, validate the system, this is the part where you can check the system. Then second comes your OS setup. This is the part where we'll be setting up the operating system. Okay, this is the part where we'll be setting up the operating system. So these are the different steps that you can see over here. Set the root password, set the host name, and set this preserve host name parameter, login with again root, then add entry in the host file, configure DNS, and set the time zone of the system, then configure and start the DH NTP service. Okay, tune the system for HANA. Tune the system for HANA, configure swap, and the last one is your configuring your file system. Okay, configuring your file system. So these are the steps that we will do now before we will start with the HANA installation. So let us start with the operating system check. The first thing that you need to do is to log in with the user. So when we created the VM, we created a user by the name sysadmin, and this is the password that we set for it. We don't have the root password yet. Okay, root password is not shared by the Azure cloud provider by default. So you have to log in with the sysadmin, change to root user, and reset the password for root, so that you can use the root user for direct login. So let us go here, login with this user sysadmin. Okay, here I'm logging with the sysadmin user. Here is the password for this user. So now I am logged in with the sysadmin user. Now next step, okay, now you have to check whether the system is as per your requirement or not. So check the CPU cores. How can you check the CPU cores? You can run the top command. Run the top command. So you can see the CPU over here, but you cannot see the CPU count over here. Okay, you can just see the average CPU load over here. So how can you see the count? You have to press 1. Okay, type 1 on this screen. Once you type screen, you can see the number of CPUs over here. See, so how many CPUs are there? Starting from 0 up till 4. That is, you have total 4 CPUs in this VM. This is how you can check the CPU count on your VM, Linux VM. Okay, so we have 4 CPUs over here. So this is done. This is done. Second comes your memory. Check your memory. How much memory is there in your system? So how to check the memory? You can run free minus m, because if you directly run free, it will give you the size in GB. Sorry, in a KBs, and which is very hard, a little complicated to understand. So just type free minus m. So now you can get the size in MBs. So how much MB we have? Around 32,000, which is approximately 32 GB. Or if you want directly in GB, you can type free minus G instead of M. So here you can see it is not 31 GB, it is 31.9 or something. So here it is. So this is the memory that you have in the VM. So one by one, you need to validate each and every setting, whether the CPU requirement, whether the memory requirement is as per your requirement or not. Check disk and mount points. So how many disks are there and how many mount points are there? First, you can check for the disk. So you can run lsblk command. You can run and you can see all the disks which are attached to your VM. So SDA, this is one disk. This is the disk one which is attached to your VM. It is of 30 GB. What partition does it contain? It contains your slash partition, the root partition, and then your slash boot partition, slash boot EFI and all. So this is your root disk. This is your root disk. Okay, and then you have an additional disk SDB that is just for like a temporary memory. It's a temporary disk, so you can just ignore it. This we can just ignore it. So also after that, you can see there are 3 additional disks which is visible in your VM of 32 GB each. SDC, SDD, and SDE. There are 3 additional disks. Okay, if you remember, while creating the VM, we created 3 disks and attached it to the VM. So this is also clear. And then if you want to check how many, if you want to check the file system on your disk, so you can run this command. Okay, so here you can see normally you run this command df minus h, but what we are running is df minus ht. Because if you run this command, you will get an additional column over here. It will show you what are the file systems for that mount point. Okay, what is the file system for that mount point? If you only run df minus h, you will not get this column, the second column, the type column. If you run df minus h capital T, you will get the file system file system column over here. So this is these are your disk. So dev sdf4, this is your slash partition. What is the file system type of your slash partition? XFS. Okay, and these are your mount points. So we can understand from the output that the slash HANA data, HANA shared, and HANA log mount points are not created yet. So you need to create them before we can start with the HANA installation. So we have checked the disk and the mount points. The release, what is the release of your operating system? Okay, you have to check whether what version you are installing, whether it's a release for SAP or a plain release. So you can run cat/etc os release. So the type of this is SLES version 15 SP3. Okay, now here only here in the variant ID you can see that it is SLES for SAP. Okay, nowhere in here you will not find that it is for an SAP exclusive version. So it just says SUSE Linux Enterprise Server 15 SP3. So whether it is for SAP or not, you can find it over here. SLES SAP. Okay, so this is also done. Then comes your SAP packages. Check for whether the SAP packages are installed or not. So let me check what SAP packages are installed. RPM minus QA. And see, so you can see all these SAP packages, SAP HANA HSR, HANA system replication package, and this system role for SLES force, this, and then SAP conf, SAP tune. These are the 2 important packages that we are interested in, SAP conf and SAP tune. Okay, so because we will be needing this package to configure our this settings for HANA database.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yes.
Yeah, actually for these packages like this.
Your voice is not clear.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is already part of this VM, or we need to prepare a repository for this?
No. Can you come again? What?
For this RPMs now, we need to make a repository, or it's a part of this particular
No,
Linux?
see, yesterday I created the VM directly in front of you, and today I'm accessing also in front of you. So between yesterday and tomorrow, I didn't make any configuration in the system. So if it's
Okay.
available in the system right now, it means it came with the VM.
Okay.
Okay, so the reason it came with the VM is that we have selected the SUSE Linux for SAP version. Okay, if you check
Okay.
over here
Okay.
yesterday
Okay.
when we did
Yes. Yes.
when we created the VM, if you check
Uh-huh.
for this VM, the version of this VM, the image type, the image type of this VM is, see, you can see the SLES for SAP. So this
Okay.
is the reason we are seeing all these SAP related packages in the system. If you select a plain release, if you just select SLES, then all those packages will not be installed by default.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, then check the hostname of the system. What is the hostname of the system? So the hostname of the system, this is the default which is assigned by the cloud provider by the name of the VM that we created. So we are going to change that. So this is the hostname, and also you can check it inside your etc hostname. Okay, so this is the current hostname, the hostname which is there for this session, and this is which is there in the file. This both of them can differ also. Okay, both of them can differ also. Okay, then you have IP address. If you want to check your IP address, you can run the command IP-ADDR, or you can simply type IPA. Just IPA, and it will show you the IP address of this VM. Okay, IP address. I think just I don't want to complicate. Let's not go for shortcuts. So this is the two commands. IP address for your, I will show your IP address. So this is your IP. So this is your local loopback adapter. This is your Ethernet adapter, and you have two adapter over here, ETH1. Okay, so this is your ETH0 adapter over here. This adapter is assigned with your IP address. You can see the IP address over here, 10.5.1.4. Okay, this is your IP address. IP, you can check it from IP. If you want to check your gateway IP, or you route, so here you can see your routing at the default. So this is the default gateway, 10.5.1.1. Okay, is that clear? Let's not complicate this. I'm removing this. Just the hostname is son. Okay, so here we have check, we have validated our VM, and everything is proper, correct. So now we can move forward with the OS setup. We can set up our operating system for the installation. So first thing, you have to switch to the root user, sudo su hyphen. So this is with this command I will switch to the root user. It will not ask for the password, because by default they have configured sudo to run the su command for the SI for this sysadmin user without password. So we are the root user. If you want to check who we are, so we are the root user. Who am I? So now we have logged in with the root user. Second step that we are going to do is that set the root user password. You will set the root user password. You can just run the command password, and you can provide the password. So instead of that, I'm just changing it with this one command. Okay, so I've set the password. You can see password updated successfully. What is the password? So the password is root123 for the root user. So I have set the password, root password for the user. Then host name. Now if you want to set the host name, this is the command to set the host name. Hostname ctl set hostname -- static. So here we have set the host name. Now if you want to see, now if you want to check the hostname command, so this is the new hostname now, HDB day 1. Okay, and if you want to check inside the directory, so here also it is HDB day 1. Okay, but if you want to use a, I think we'll just leave out the second part. It is not required. Okay, so you can just set the hostname from here, and this is your etc, and you check the etc hostname, and the hostname is also set inside this file. Okay, previously when we checked inside this file, this was the hostname, but after running this command, it set the hostname inside this file also. Is it clear with anyone? Any doubts, queries in this?
Is there any
No.
specific reason for setting up a static
Your
hosting for
voice
this?
is low. Is it only for me, or everybody else is also?
Sorry, can you hear me now?
No, it's still not clear. Anyone else can hear his voice clearly?
No, it's low.
No, no.
Yes, I think some problem from your side. Can you bring the mic near to your mouth and you can speak then?
No, I just want to know that. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Now?
No, no, I'm still, it's no, it's a very low.
Okay, can you hear me now?
No, can you type your query in the chat box?
I'll type the query here in the chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so by the time, okay, so now after this setting the host name, there is a parameter called as preserve underscore host name. So normally what happens in a cloud VM, cloud environment, if you don't set this parameter, so sometimes when you restart the VM, the cloud provider will revert your host name back to the one which was set earlier. Okay, for example, in our case, this was the earlier, this is the earlier host name. So sometimes it might revert it back to this host name. And if this happens, it might have an adverse effect in your impact on your operation system and everything. So to prevent this changes, to restrict the cloud provider from changing the host name, you have to set this parameter. By default, the value of this parameter, you can see it is false. By default, the value of this parameter is false. You have to set this parameter to true. Okay, so you can use the vi command. You can go inside, you can find for the parameter and you can change the false value to true. But what I have done is that I have just with the one command I can change the parameter inside the file. So with this command I'm changing the parameter. Okay, now if I go and check with the above command, so now you can see the parameter has now changed to true. Earlier it was false, now it has changed to true. So now the preserve hostname parameter is set to true. Okay, so now your query, is there a specific reason for setting up static hostname? Okay, so yes, who's this Balaji? Yes, Balaji. Actually, you see, when you say static hostname, don't compare the static hostname with your static IP address. Do you get my point? Actually, when you say static IP address, see, if I only use this, command, if I use this command, if I set a host name without the static without the static parameter, if you see without the static parameter, okay, if I set a host name over here, for example, let me give an HDB test. I am setting this host name without the static parameter. Now, before this, if you check the content of this file, etc host name, if you check the content of this file, this is the host name which is there in your etc hostname file. Now if you run the command, okay, hostname set hostname, I'm setting it to HDB test, enter. Okay, it has been done. Now again, if you check the content of this file, okay, it has set it to set. Normally you shouldn't do it. Let me check for hostname. Okay, it is done over here. Now let me check what it does. Okay, set hostname name minus minus static. The static hostname is stored in the etc hostname. Yeah, this is the same. This is actually this. I also had the same understanding that when you add a static when you add the static parameter option, it will save your hostname inside your etc hostname file. If you don't give this option, it will only set the hostname for the current session. After reboot, again it will read the etc hostname file and it will revert it back to the hostname which is there in the etc hostname file. So this was my understanding, but here if I see after without setting without the static parameter also, it has updated the etc hostname file. So this is a little contradictory over here. Set hostname, this static default alter the static and the transient on the, like our if you one or more static this is on the one sector it's depending on the okay, I don't think there is a clear explanation given over here. So like, I will check it from my end, like if, what is the actual, because my understanding was that if you don't give the minus static option, it will not write the hostname inside the file. But if you see over here, I've given the set the hostname without the minus static option, still it has updated the etc hostname file. Okay, is that clear? So let me check. I will check and this thing and get back to you.
No, but thank
So,
you. Thank you, answer.
so for the time being, let me again revert my host name back to what for my this one. Okay, HDB day one. So now after this setting the parameter for preserve host name. So now you need to log off and log in with the root user. So the reason for login with the root user is that you will say you have to reset your just refresh your terminal or just restart your session. Log off from this session and log in with the new session so that you can see this session is still using the old host name. When you log off and log in again, it will start using the new host name. So for this reason, let me log off. Okay, I've logged in from the root user, also log in from my this system. Okay, let me just hard code the root user and password inside here. So this is my root user and the root user password and password in command. From the next time, whenever I double click, it will not ask me for the username and password. So here it is. So you can see over here, now it is taking the new host name, not the old one. Okay, so I have logged out of it and logged in again. Now add entry in the etc hostname file. Add entry in the etc hostname file. So now if you check the content of your etc hostname file, so you can see there are no content, there is no entry for your this new hostname, the new hostname and the IP address. So you have to make an entry over here. So this is the line for it. So here is the IP address and this is the hostname with the domain and this is the short name. So we are passing this entry in the etc host file. Done. Now if you check the tail content of the host file, so now you can see the entry over here. You have passed an entry of this host name inside your host file. Okay, and to verify whether it is pinging or not the host name, you can ping the host name and check. So you can see here the host name is pinging now. Also, you can check one thing. If you run the hostname command, this is the hostname command. If you run the hostname -f command, full name. So now it is showing you the full name. Earlier, if you had given this hostname -f command, it would give you an error. Okay, so now it is giving you the hostname -f command. If you want to check it, etc host. Let me comment out this line. Okay, if you run the hostname -f command, see it is giving you the older this is giving the hostname which is set by the cloud provider, not the one which you want. So hostname -f. Now if you run the hostname, the short name and the domain name, so now you can see all the values are coming now. So this is the done. So before doing this part is for the VM, HANA VM. This part over here is for your Bayesian host. Okay, if you check the content of the host file of your Bayesian host here, so you can see the content of the host file of your Bayesian host. You can see there is no entry over here for your HANA VM. So we have to make an entry for your HANA VM here. So how you can make an entry? This is the command. You can execute this command. It will make an entry in the host file of your Windows Bayesian host. So here I have passed this entry. Now check the content of the host file. Now you can see the content of the host file over here. So hostname has been added here. Now you can try to ping it from your host Bayesian command prompt. Okay, it is pinging now. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, next is your configure DNS. The configure DNS. Now, if you check the content of this etcresolve.conf, so right now it is saying you search. This is your DNS suffix. So if you in case if you look for any host name, it will add this DNS suffix. It will attach this DNS suffix to your host name. Okay, but this is not our case, because we have our own domain solutrix.in. So we want that also for it to be included in the search option, and before this before the cloud domain. So what you will do is that you will change this entry in your this file etc sysconfig network config, etc sysconfig network slash config file. So if you check the current configuration of this file, so you can see the search list is empty. The configuration for the search list is empty. Now what we'll do, first we'll take a backup of this file. Okay, we are taking a backup of this file. If you check over here, ls/etc sysconfig network and config star. So there is only one file right now, so I'm taking the backup of this file. If I run the previous command again, now I can see two files over here. This is the current file, and this is the backup file with our today's date and time. Sorry, today's date, not time. So after taking the backup, I'm changing the parameter inside the configuration file. I've changed this parameter. Now if I check the parameter, so now now you can see we have added our domain here inside this inverted commas. Now if you check the content of etcresolve.conf, okay, can you see your domain has been inserted before the clouds domain. Okay, then comes your set time zone. Now what is the current time zone of your VM? So the current time zone of my VM is UTC, Universal Time Coordinate, but this is not what I want. So I will change the time zone of my VM to my local time zone, Asia Kolkata. Okay, I will run it. So now you can see I have executed this command. It has executed successfully, no error, and it has changed my local time zone, my system time zone to Asia Kolkata. This is also done. Next is for NTP. In case if you are using your VM, if your VM is on premise, okay, if this VM is on premise, then for example on its, if it's a physical hardware, it's a physical server, or maybe for example it is an VMware VM. In that case you need to configure NTP on it, so that the time of your VM is synchronized, the time is in synchronize. Okay, the time should be in sync. If there's a difference in the time zone between your HANA database and the application server, it will cause error. You will get a dumps in your SC22T code. So your system time, your VM time should be in sync. So I have marked this as not applicable in my case, because we are using a cloud VM. In case of a cloud VM, the time is already sync by the cloud provider. So you don't have to do this step. You don't need to perform this step. So that's the reason I have marked it as not applicable. In case if you're using this Excel sheet for your on-premise configuration system, then you can mark it as pending, and you can complete this step. Okay, now comes the next step of tuning the system for HANA. Now, what do you mean by tuning the system for HANA? Now, see, actually your database, HANA database is an in-memory database, and it requires a lot of lot of configuration on the operating system level. Lot of parameter needs to be changed, lot of settings needs to be configured. For example, the file, actually I will give you an example when we run this. So before that you have to start the service, the SAP tune service. By default it is stopped. If you check the status of this service, okay, by default it is in the disabled state. There you see it is in the disabled state, SAP con service disabled and inactive. So you need to start this service. I'm starting the service. Okay, now you can see starting SAP tune service. This may take some time. SAP tune service has been enabled and started. So now if you see it has been enabled. Enabled means after reboot also you don't need to start it again. So after reboot it will again start up automatically during boot time. So now let me check now this one. So now you will see that it is now in the enabled state. Can you see the service is now in the enabled state? It is the service is started, but we have still not tuned the service. So for tuning the service, these are the parameter command for tuning the service. So let us check what all solutions are available in this system. When you run this command solution, you can see all the solutions with which you can tune the solutions which you can configure this VM for. So first is your BobJ, then your HANA, MaxDB, NetWeaver plus HANA, SAP S4 HANA plus application plus DB, then S4 HANA app server, S4 HANA DB server, SAP ASC database. So these are the different solutions. Now what is the solution? Now for example, if you enable one of the solution, for example, if I enable this solution or I configure this solution for my VM, all this related SAP node, the parameters inside this SAP node, the SAP node will not be implemented. Don't be of the this under the this one that these SAP nodes will be implemented in the system same as it is implemented in your SAP application server. No, the configuration parameters which are recommended or suggested inside this SAP nodes, those parameters will be configured on your this VM. And who will configure it? The SAP tune RPM, the SAP tune service will configure that. So now here if you see, this is the solution. Now if you want to simulate, now for example we will be simulating our system to for the HANA solution. So let us check over here HANA solution. So you can see these are all the parameters that will be configured in a system for this HANA solution. Okay, you can see DB in the hard number of files. No file means number of files. So value which is set, it is not applicable set. What value is recommended or expected, this is the value recommended. Again here it is for the, this is the hard limit, this is the soft limit. Again this is the soft limit. Then again you have this for SAP sys, this is for the DBA group, and this is for the SAP sys group. The hard parameter again it is the same. Then this is for the SDBA group. Then VM max map count, this is the currently set, and this is the expected value. Again then you have this read memory max. Okay, this is the current value, and you have the, you don't need any value over here. Then this is your SOMAX connection, write memory maximum, IP local port range. So these are all the parameters that you need to configure in the system. Just please excuse me for 1 minute. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Okay, so these are the parameters over here. Okay, and this is the SAP tune. Now if you want to apply the solution, you have to run this command to apply the HANA solution to your VM. So once you apply the solution in this VM, so you can see, you can just read the last line. All tuning options for the SAP solutions have been applied successfully. Okay, so your solution has been applied. If you want to verify, you can run the verify command. Okay, don't go for this red marking. This is not any kind of error or alert. If you just read the last line, the system fully conforms to the tuning guidelines of the specified SAP solution. Okay, so your system fully conforms to the tuning guidelines of which solution? Of the HANA solution. Now this is the output you see, you can see. So yeah, last time it said that for this is the expected value. So now if you see the actual value, this actual value is equal to your expected value. So your system is fully tuned for the HANA solution. Is it clear with all of you?
Can you repeat once more regarding the tuning part which you told?
See, these are all the parameters which needs to be set. There are many kernel parameters. There are many hostname related parameter. Okay, you need to set this parameter in your system so that you can install the HANA database on it. This is one kind of a prerequisite. Do you get it?
Okay, okay, got it,
So
got it.
if you don't use the SAP Tune service, then you have to set all these parameters manually.
Okay,
The SAP Tune service, it configures your system as per the solution. For example, if you choose the SAP AC solution, it will say it will configure your system as per the SAP AC Sybase it will tune your system for the Sybase database.
okay. So the tuning is by default, right? As per the solution that we choose.
It is cannot say by default, but you are see we are configuring it now. We are tuning it
Configuring,
right
yeah.
now.
Correct, correct.
Okay, so there are many solutions available. You can see over here there are many solutions available. These are all the solutions. So you can tune your system as per one of the solutions.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
Okay. Okay. Now we'll take a 10 minutes break now, and we'll meet after 10 minutes. We'll continue after 10 minutes. Is it okay? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Yes. SAP on AWS planning general guidelines. I think it is there in this one. SLES or SAP. Okay, the configure operating system SUSE Linux for SAP. This is for 12.x. So if you come down over here, you will find SAP Tune. So this is for the SAP Tune. I think if you go for Red Hat Linux, SAP Y install package name kernel system tuned ADM. Okay, here is the service for configuring on your Red Hat operating system. Got it? Tuned and -ADM. This is the service for that.
Okay.
Okay, so now we have completed the configuration, the operating system configuration for SAP HANA. Now let us move to the configuring the swap space. So if you see by default there is no swap configured on your operating system level. So you can see there is zero swap over here. Okay, this is a zero swap, and this being your the HANA being an in-memory database, it doesn't require swap space. HANA doesn't require swap space. So just for formality purpose, I'm just creating a 2 GB swap over here. Okay, just for formality, we'll be having a 2 GB space configured for your HANA VM. So you have two options over here to configure the swap. You can directly create a file by this. This is the size for this file. DD if is equal to, you can create a 2 GB file on your slash partition slash root volume, and you can change the permission this and make swap and this, or else you can also use this option for configuring your swap space. Okay, this is by default. This is option. This option is only relevant to Azure. Only in Azure you find this WA agent. In this agent, you can set all these parameters in this file, etc waagent.conf, and at the boot time, this agent will itself invoke the swap size. Okay, the reason I'm using this WA agent for the swap size is because if you remember when I showed you the LSBLK size over here, so by default it gives you some free along with the VM, it also give you some space. Okay, now it is providing you 64 GB disk space as a temporary disk. It provides you 64 GB temporary disk. You cannot put any data on this disk. If you save any data on this disk, after a reboot, everything will be lost. When you reboot this VM, the content of this disk SDB1, which is mounted on /mnt, the content of this part, this file system will get like cleaned. It will be swiped skipped out. So don't save anything on this disk. So what is the use of this MNT file system? You can use it for creating your virtual memory. Okay, your paging file, swap file. So you can create your swap file on it, or what you can do is that you can use the WA agent to create a swap file on this file system every time at boot time. So first thing is that take a backup of this file etc WA agent by today's date. So here I'm taking a backup. Then change these 4 parameters inside this file. Okay, disk format, disk mount point, enable swap, and swap size. So here I have changed this parameter. Now you can compare the current file with the backup file. You can check the content, you can check the difference of your current file and backup file. So the previous value format, this format was no, we change it to yes. Why? Then resolve this mount point. So this is the mount point which this is the default mount point. We change it to /mnt. Okay, now enable swap. So default is no, we have changed it to yes. Why? Swap size, default is 0, we have changed it to 2048. So these are the 4 parameters that we set, and after that just restart the WA agent service. Restart this service. Now if you run this swap -v and free -m, you can see the swap size of your system. So you can see over here the swap, it has created a swap of 2 GB. Also you can see the swap is created on this file /mnt swap file. Okay, it's a file and it is of 2 GB. Okay, is that clear? Any doubts and query till now? Okay, so let us move forward. This is also done. Configure file system. Now we'll be creating our volumes, and we will be creating a file system on the volumes, and then we will mount the volumes on directories. So like, if you want, you can check what all disk, if the disk has been visible on your VMs or not. So here you can see the disk is visible on our VM. These 3 disks, we are talking about these 3 disks of 32 GB each. These are visible on our VM. After that, you can check for the current LVM configuration, PVS, VGS, LVS. This is the physical volume, this is the volume group, and this is for the logical volume. So right now there is no configuration for LVM. So now let us start configuring LVM one by one. So first you will be creating the PV, physical volume. So you will create the physical volume on the /SDC, SDD, and SDE, these 3 disks. We will create physical volume on these 3 disks. Okay, so now I am executing this command pv create. So you can see that the physical volume has been created on SDC, SDD, and SDE. Now if you run the pvs command, you can see the physical volumes in your disk. Sorry, you can see the physical volumes on your system. So there are 3 physical volumes, each volume is of 32 GB. This is the free physical free size. If you check the volume group, it will again show as blank only because we have not configured the volume group yet. So to configure the volume group, VG create, we are creating a volume group by the name HANA, and we are adding all these 3 SDC, SDD, and SDE inside the HANA volume group. You can see HANA successfully created. Now if you check VGS, so you can see that one volume group exists over here which contains 3 physical volume. Okay, and it till now it doesn't contain any logical volume. So it is 0 logical, no logical volume is created inside this volume group yet. This is the total size of the volume, 95.99 GB. And the free space. So as and now when you start creating the logical volume, this free space will start decreasing. Okay, so now here I'm creating all the logical volumes, LV create. So first volume of it is of 20 GB. Okay, -I is that distribute the file system on three physical volumes. -I3 means distribute this logical volume on 3 physical volumes. Minus capital I means this is the block size. The block size in which the data will be written on the logical volume. Minus capital L is the size of the logical volume. Minus N is your the name of the logical volume. Data underscore HANA, then log underscore HANA shared data, the name of the logical volume is data, and the last one is the group in which you want to create the logical volume, HANA. So this is the data volume, this is the log volume, this is the shared, and this is the backup. So let me create all this volume in the system. Okay, all the volumes have been created. You can see logical volume data created, logical volume log created, logical volume shared created, and the logical volume backup created. Okay, then we are creating a file system. We'll be formatting these logical volumes with the XFS file system. So yes, Dinesh, you had a question over here. What file system we'll be using? So we are using XFS. So here we are formatting the logical volumes with the XFS file system. Okay, so all the 4 volumes have been formatted. So these volumes are ready to be used now. But before you can use now, you have to mount these volumes on an empty directories. Okay, so before mounting, what I'm doing, I'm passing these entries in your etc fstep file. So if you check the content of the etc fstep file, so right now it is only up till the mnt partition, the mnt mount point. So now you can execute this command. It will create the entries in your etc fstep file. Okay, now you can see all these additional entries have been added in your etc fstep file. Okay, the entries of your newly created logical volumes.
Muzaffar, what is the etc FSTM?
etc fstep with the file system table. It is the file which contains all the information about your mount points. So normally what happens after a reboot, when your system is coming up at the boot time, it reads the fstep file. Whatever entries are there in this file, it will mount those file system or partitions on the mount points at boot time.
Okay.
Okay, now before mounting it, you need to create the mount points. Okay, right, if you see right now, this mount point does not exist in your system. For example, ls/hana, this hana directory does not exist in the system. No such file. Again, then you have the slash backup. You don't have ls, you don't have slash backup. Then also slash pkgs. Now you'll be creating these directories. So now I'm creating this directory. Now if you check the above command ls/hana, so you can see these 3 directories inside HANA, and you can also find a backup directory here. Also your ls pkgs directory. Okay, so all this directory has been created, but still if you see the df-h command, df-h command, still it is not mounted yet. The HANA data, HANA log, HANA shared, those mount points are not mounted yet. Now we'll mount those mount points. When you run the mount-av command, it will read your fstep file and it will mount all those file systems which are not mounted currently. So here we are running mount-av. So you can see these newly entered mount points which were there in the fstep file were not mounted. So now it has mounted these 4 mount points. And if you check the df-h command, you can see over here that these new mount points have been mounted in your system. Is it clear till now? Any doubts? Yes, can we move forward?
Yes.
Okay, so now we'll start with the installation part. Till now we were doing the OS configuration. Okay, so with the file system creation, our OS is configured. The OS is ready now. The OS is ready for the data HANA database installation. Now we'll start with the database installation. So first thing what we are going to do is that, see, for installing the HANA database, you need the software. You need the HANA package to how to install. So where will you get the package from? So we will download the package from my file share. I've created a file share and I have uploaded that package. Which package? This package, the IMDb server 20 and 059 revision 059. I have uploaded this package on my file share. So you can download this package from the file share. But how you can download the package? From the AZ copy utility. So to download the package, first you need the AZ copy utility. because if when you have the AZ copy utility in your system HANA VM, then only you will use that utility to download the package. So first thing what we are going to do is that we are going to copy the AZ copy and the SAP car utility from our Bayesian host. If you check the content of this okay, if you check the content over here, you can see there is a, this is the AG copy utility for your Linux system. Okay, and this is the SCP car utility for your Linux system. Okay, so these are the two we are going to copy the AG copy utility. We need it to download the software, to download the HANA DB software, and we need the SCP car utility to extract the software. So now we are going to copy this. So where we are going to copy this inside the /pkgs directory. So right now it is empty. We are going to copy, upload these two packages from our Bayesian host onto the HANA VM. So let us go inside this packages directory. Okay, now we are inside the packages directory. It contains all the files, utilities over here. So now we are going to upload this AZ copy and SAP car on this system. So this is the command, psc command, to upload these two files. Yes. Okay, now it is asking the password, root password. Provide the root password over here. So now it is copying the AZ copy and it has also copied the SAP car utility. If you go and check in your system, if you go and check the system, run the above command. Now you can see both of these files are there available in your inside your HANA VM. Okay, now second part, you cannot directly use this file. You cannot directly use this file because if you use this file, for example, if you run this command, it will give you that it is not executable. For example, if I run this command /pkgs, it is not copy, it is not auto completing also. You can see permission denied. You will get a permission denied error. Why? Because both of these files are not executable. If you want to execute this file, they should have the executable permission. So now we are setting the executable permission, chmod +x. This is the command for setting the executable permission on your AZ copy and the SAP car binary. So here I am giving the command. Now if you again check for ls-lh/pkgs, so you can see both of these files now have become executable. You can check it from the green color. You can also check for the X bit, the executable bit over here. Now download package. Now how can you download the package? Just run this AZ copy utility with this URL to download the package inside your /pkgs directory. So here you can see it is now downloading the package, almost 8.2, 18%. Here you can see it has completed. The download is complete. Now go inside this directory and you can extract, go inside the directory and extract the IMDb, extract the package. Go inside the directory and extract the package. So here I'm going inside the directory and extracting the package. Now it has started extracting the package. It is extracting the files in this directory, SAP HANA database. The package, this package, imdb_server20_059. This package, all the content of this package is been extracted inside this directory, SAP HANA database. Okay, it is completed. 454 files have been extracted. If you see the content, you can see the directory over here. Okay, now you can continue with it or with this directory also, but in the future, if you are going to upgrade, or in the future, if you want to find like which version of this database is this. Okay, in the future, if you have like you are doing an upgrade, or you want to know which this directory belongs to which version, so at that time it will be a confusion for you. So what you can do is that you can move, you can rename the directory to a new name by the same name as your package. So I'm renaming this directory. Now if you see the content, so you can see this is my package name and this is my directory name. So both of them are the same now. So it's easy to recognize that this is your server 2.0 revision 059. So this extraction is
Hello.
completed. Yes.
Yeah, /SAP car -cs for extracting the files.
Mm-hmm.
So why we are using -manifest signature.smf?
Yes, actually, when you extract this file, when you do the installation, it tries to check whether this archive, the files which have been extracted from this archive is correct or not. Okay, so what it does when you extract this file, it writes the information about the checksum. Okay, the integrity of the file in this signature.smf. So when you do an installation, it will cross check whether these files have been correct as per the signature file or not, or whether some file has been tampered with or not. So if you check the content of this signature.smf, so you can see this is the key, or you can see this is the signature of this file. And for each and every file, see, for each and every file it has a checksum value, or you can say sh file sum value. So it will cross check whenever it needs to cross check this file, it will check it from this value of this file. Okay, for this file, whether the when it will cross check whether the checksum is proper or not, correct or not. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Now we are going to install the HANA database. Now we are going to start with the installation of our HANA database. So now you have two options of here for installing a HANA database from the command line. Okay, you also have an option to install it from your GUI option, but we are not going to take the GUI option now. We are going to see the command line option. You can directly run this command. You can directly run this command /pkgs imdb server this. You can run this command from here. It will call the HDBCLM HANA Database Lifecycle Manager utility. It will call the HDBLSM. Now it will ask you one by one all these things. Do you want to specify additional component? Okay, enter selected action index. No. So wherever, see, where here by default it is 3. Here the default value is 3, but here you are making any change. So wherever there is a change, I have documented or I have put it in this sheet. But wherever there is no change, it is not there in this list. So if you see for this option, do you want to specify additional location? It is not here in the list. It means for that option, you just have to go with the default. Just press enter. There is no change in this option. So here you just need to press enter. Now here in this option, enter selected index in the action index. So you can see here enter selected action index. So here we have changed it to 1. The default is 3. Exit, do nothing. If you say if you put on enter, this HDBLSM will exit without doing anything. So here I'm putting as 1. Install. Okay, now next option here also installation path. It is not here, so just enter. Enter local host name, enter. Do you want to add host to the system? Enter. Now it is asking for the SAP HANA system ID. So here you need to provide the SAP HANA system ID, that is H4D. Okay, now enter the instance number. Default is 00. So you can, if you want the 00, you can press on enter, or we are giving a 03. 03. Enter local host group default, enter. Okay, here enter select system usage. So let me check. Okay, select system usage. So we are going for third option, 3. 3 is for development system. 3 is for the development system. Okay, do you want to enable data and log volume encryption? No. Enter location of the data volume, enter. Maximum memory allocation, just press with enter, go with the default option. Apply system size, SAP note, yes, enter. Password, now it is asking for the password. It is asking for the password of your SAP ADM user. So here is the password for the SAP ADM user. You are giving as India123. I am giving as India123. It will ask you to repeat, confirm the password. Again, type the same thing. Now it is asking you the password for SID ADM. Okay, again we are giving the same password, so just enter, just paste and paste. Now it is asking you for the enter system administrator home directory, enter. Now it is asking for the shell, enter. User ID, enter. SAPCs, enter. Now again password for system, enter. Sorry, not enter, paste the password, again confirm the password. Restart system machine, system after machine reboot. But do you want to start the database after reboot? Okay, in case the system gets rebooted, do you want to start the database at the time of the reboot, or sorry, at the time of boot, when the system is booting, when the operating system is booting, after the booting complete, do you want to start the database, yes or no? So by default is no, go for the no option, default. So here you can see we have selected all the option, everything has been provided. Now it is asking whether you want to continue or not. If I press on Y and enter, it will start the installation of the HANA database. Okay, is that clear? It will start with the installation of your HANA database. This is your manual option, providing each and every options one by one. So here I am pressing no. I am pressing no and enter. I have not installed the database. Now what I'm going to do is that instead of this, I will use this option. I will copy all these options directly in the command line. I will supply all these options along with the HDB LCM and with the minus batch option. Batch option means it will tell the LCM to do not ask for any value, and whatever value is there, take the default value. If the value is not provided in the command line, you take the default value for that. So here I am copying the option, and here I can just right click and it will start with the installation. Directly it will start with the installation without asking for any confirmation, without asking for any option, anything. It is started with the HANA database installation. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
It will take around 10 or 15 minutes for the installation.
Excuse me, I have one question.
Yes.
Like if you
What's
would
your
have
name?
Aftab.
Yes, Aftab.
Yeah. So like if you would selected yes at the end, so this would have asked you for every time all the default password, right? That is the reason you selected no, and then you
No. I still don't get your question. What you're saying is that why did I select yes?
the last one is that do you want to continue installation? The last part where instead of yes you selected no, right?
This one, yes, okay.
Yeah, you selected no, and then manually you have put it this one package IMDP, which is the
Yes,
thing
yes.
at the right,
See,
right?
okay, go on.
Yeah, so you selected that because you don't wanted to enter the password, default password again and again, right?
No, it is not like that. See, I
Okay.
selected no because I wanted to show you this option.
Okay.
If I selected yes and continued, it would have started the installation, na?
Oh, okay.
So
Got
it would
it.
have started the installation. So there is no what would I do with this option? I cannot show you two. I cannot do two installations.
Okay.
So that is the reason I selected no, because see, I showed you all the option how to select all this, provide all this option for this whatever manual options types. So
Correct.
once I click on yes, enter, it will start with the installation. So I
Okay.
just canceled this and I showed you how to install it with the batch option.
Batch option. Okay. Got it.
Ansari, Vijay here. I have a
Yes,
question.
Vijay.
Just like ECC 6.0, SR3, EHP6 something when we install, right? So the steps is like we initiate and then we install database and then the central instance will get installed. So similarly, now we are installing only the database part of the HANA. Am I correct?
Yes, that is it. See, now when you say that you install this ERP 6.0 and then you install the database, so which database you're talking about?
Some SQL or Oracle normally we install, right?
See, normally in that also you don't start with that SWPM to install the database.
Correct.
Okay, your SQL, MS SQL database and your Oracle database has to be installed before starting the SWPM.
Correct.
Only the Sybase database and the MaxDB database that can be installed by the SWPM.
Correct.
And those are called as the silent installation.
Correct. So now we are doing the similar kind of thing, right? First
yes, we are installing the database now. We are installing the database now. After the database, you can install your application server.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, but during this course, we are not going to take up the installation of the this one application server. Because this course is only for the database.
Got it.
We are only install the database and how to manage the database, how to DB connection, how to take backup, and about this, how to install your HANA cockpit and monitor the database, then your system replication and HANA clustering, HA clustering. So this is only about the database.
Got it, answer. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Dinesh, can you clarify your query? Python is inbuilt with HANA.
It's showing so many Python support, Python runtime.
So it is not inbuilt. See, it is calling up Python scripts. For the installation, it is calling up Python scripts. So Python is installed on your operating system level. It is only calling the scripts. HANA for the HDB LCM, most of the part, I think it is written in Python. So it is calling up those scripts for the installation.
Okay.
Yeah, hello Ansari. I have one question.
Yes, who's this?
It's me, Om Prakash.
Yes, Om Prakash.
Yeah. In my case, I will not shut down the system. Like virtual machine, I will not shut down it. Directly in the Azure level, I will stop it. Like, is this good way to do this?
So what?
Like virtual machine, I will not shut down it. Okay. In the Azure level only, directly I will stop it.
Okay, I got your point. Then, so what?
Is this good way to do?
See, normally if it's like a test system or it is just your practice system, it's okay. There is no problem. But if it's like it's an actual system in your like a company and all, people are using it. Okay, even if people are not using it, then this is not a good practice, because see, normally what happens is you can shut it down, nothing, no issue with that. Your database will come up, but sometimes what happens if it's a production system, okay, and if you directly shut it down, so it may take a long time for recovery when the next time you start the database. Do you get it?
Yeah, okay.
Normally if your database starts in 10 minutes, okay, so if you shut it down without shutting down the database, at least, not about the operating system, if you didn't shut down the operating system, it's okay. The shutdown command which you give from Azure, it will shut down your VM properly, but it will not shut down your database properly. So at least shut down the database and then you can shut it down directly from the Azure stop command. Okay, because if it's a production system, the next time for by default, if it takes like say 10 minutes for startup, it might take a longer time, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the same for doing all the recovery, for recovering all that open transaction which it couldn't write up the last time.
Yeah, you are correct. I faced this. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So now you can see over here your our database installation is completed now. Okay, the database installation here is completed. Now what is it? Next thing. Okay, so now the database installation is completed. Now we will do a database check. We will be doing a database check. How? So if you're doing any maintenance activity, any activity related to the database, HANA database, you have to log in with the SID ADM user. So this is our SID. H4D is our SID of the database and H4D ADM is the user. So we will be logging with the SID ADM user. So let me log in with the SID ADM user. So you can see now I'm logged in with the SID ADM user. Okay, so now I have logged in with the SIDM user. Next thing is that you can run an installation check. See, right now we had did an installation in front of our eyes. We did the installation ourselves. So we know that the installation is successful. There was no error in the installation. Okay, because you can see the output over here. SAP HANA system database installed. Okay, this is a you can also check for this log file. So this is the log file which contains the detail of this installation. So for example, if you are going to let me copy this log file over here so that I can use this command. I can use this command to filter for any kind of error, fail, or warning message from this log file. So I am using this egrep command to filter out this. So can you see? Okay, it is saying sorry, it is showing a permission denied. So I'm running this command from here. So you can see over there is no error. This is just error is part of this server restart word. So you can see there is no error, neither error, no fail, no warning message in this log file, the log file of your HANA installation. Okay, so this is one thing you check for the log file. Also, you can also okay, so I was telling you, you can directly check in this log file. Now, suppose someone else has done the installation before you. You have joined any organization or you have joined a new project. Someone has already installed the database before you. So in that case, if you want to check whether the database was installed properly or not, whether the installation is proper or not. So how can you do that? You can log in with the SID ADM user and you can run the check installation or command. You can run the check installation option of your HDB LCM. So this will check your database whether everything is installed correctly or not. So here I am executing this command. So you can see over here summary before execution HANA database this. So here it is checking SAP HANA database system installation, checking SAP HANA system H4D, checking programs, checking system administration, local directives, global directives, checking volume. Here it is saying SAP HANA database system checked. It didn't give any error. It means our installation is proper, correct. If you want to see a detailed log, you can check this log file. Okay, you can directly run the less command. You can open this log file with the less command. Okay, and you can see over here. But if you see the log files, what is the size of this log file? It is 263 lines. So you have to go through each and every line and check whether there is any error or not. Or what you can do is that you can again paste it here in this log file name, and you can run this egrep command on it to check whether everything is whether there is any error or fail messages. So can you see over here? There is no error message. If you see this line, no error messages. What it says? No errors detected. So your installation is clean. There is no issue with the installation. Is that clear? Okay, so now we have checked the installation. Our installation is clean. Now what you can see, you can check for the services. We can check for the HANA status, the HANA service, the database status. What is the database? So if you see run over here, sorry, this is the command SAP control. This is the command. If you run this command, so you can see the output over here. So these are the different services of your HANA database. These are the different services of your HANA database over here, and this is the description. The HANA daemon, HDB compile server, HDB name server. These are the description for the services, and if you see the status of the service, these are green. All the services are running properly. They are in the running state. This is the start date and time, the last time. This is the PID. So this is the status over here. There is also an alternative command for this. You can also run HDB info. In a HDB info, you will get a tree like output over here. So it's up to you which command you prefer. See, this HDB info command is a shorter command. You can use it. It's very easy to remember and it's very easy to type. But for me, I think I find this output a little complicated or confusing. So instead of this is a lengthy command, SAP control, but the output is very simple and very easy to read.
Muzaffar, this column minus T minus S used for?
Yes, I can't get you. What?
This column minus T and S. Minus
Okay,
T
yes.
and minus S. Why we are adding this?
See, the reason we are adding this, if I remove this addition over here, if you remove from here, okay, if I execute this command, see, this is the output. This is the normal. This is the actual output. Okay, by your HANA database, this command output. Now, can you read here over like which services is running and which is not running and which is giving problem?
Yes, it's complicated.
Okay. No, it's not complicated, but it take a little more time to understand the output, read the output. So if you see over here, it is very simple and very easy. You can directly read it from here. All this, you can just go for the third column, everything is green. You can go for the fourth column, everything is running. Good. That's it. Okay. So now that was your, you can check your, I say HANA status, the service status and the process status from here. You can also, there's an alternate command HDB proc, but I think this is also same as your HDB info command, not a much difference, or maybe a minor difference over here. Okay. Now next come your start HANA instance. So if you want to start your HANA instance, this is a command for it. If you want to stop your HANA instance, this is a command. How to stop the HANA database? So SAP control command, or you can also stop it from HDB stop command. Okay, normally I prefer the this stop command. The reason is that, for example, if I stop this command from here, it engages the prompt. See, I run the HDB stop command. See, it is not giving me the prompt. I cannot work on any other command, or I cannot monitor whether what services are running, what is shutting down in that. So it has just blocked the terminal. It has just blocked the session. So I will have to open another duplicate session, and from here I'll have to log in again with the SID ADM user. Okay, and from here I will have to run this command HDB in for anything to monitor whether the database is shutting down. So here, from here, I can see that the database has been shut down. If I come back over again, so here you can see HDB daemon is stopped. So the problem with this command, you cannot say problem, but this is the with this command, it will not give you the prompt until the database has been stopped. Okay. So this is how you can stop your command with the HDB stop command, or you can also stop with the SAP control stop command. When you want, if you want to start your database, you can use the start command, or you can use your HDB start. You can run the HDB start and you can monitor the database from another terminal. So from here, you can monitor the database. You can use the watch command for monitoring the database. See, it is now dynamic. You can see the changes online on the screen. Okay, so now you can see the database has completely started over here. Oh, here it has written the prompt also. Okay, this is for your how to start your database. And if you want to restart your database, you can use this HDB restart. I can run the command HDB restart. I will run the monitor command from here, and I will run the restart from here. So restarting daemon. So now if you see over here, see it is now started with starting the restarting of your database. The restart command is also done, and we also check with the monitor command. Okay, so now you can see we have restarted the database. It has restarted the database, and now all the database services are running now. Okay, you can also use the same this command also, this SAP control command to start, stop, and restart your database as per your requirement. Okay, is it clear with everyone till now?
Yes, yes.
Any doubts, queries, anything?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so now next is this sheet for your uninstallation. So how do you uninstall your HANA database? It's very simple. You use the same HDB LCM utility. Use the same HDB LCM utility with the action minus action is equal to uninstall. You use this option, and with the components all, you run this command, and the database will be uninstalled from your system. Okay, is it clear? And run this command with your root user. Don't run it with your this one SID ADM user, because if you run with the SID ADM user, it will give an error while deleting the SID ADM user. So run this command with the root user. So you can run the command with the root user, then you can check whether any processes are running with the SID ADM user, and after that you can check whether these directories or mount points have been deleted or cleared or not. So by default, everything is cleared with this HDB LCM uninstallation option. And after uninstalling the database, you can uninstall your SAP host exec. That is your SAP host agent. You can uninstall. This is a command for uninstalling your SAP host agent. And this is for deleting the host agent user and the group of your host agent. This is the SAP ADM user for host agent, and the SAP sys user for your SAP ADM user. After this, you can just restart the system, and it will be as clean as before. Okay, is it okay? We are done. Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
So I think the last point that we need to cover for today is your how to connect your database. We'll connect it from our HANA Studio. We will see how to connect your database from the HANA Studio. So we have already downloaded the package. If you check in the directory, in the packages directory, we already have this package available, HANA Studio 256 version. Okay, the package is available. So now what you need to do, you need to extract this package, and you need to install the software. So how will you do that? So there you can direct. So for extraction, this is the command for extracting SAP car minus XPF HANA Studio. So first you need to go inside this directory. Okay, so we are already in this directory. No need to go inside the directory. You can directly run the execute SAP car XPF command for extracting the HANA Studio.
Answer.
Yes.
Are we installing the HANA Studio on the same Linux server, or is it because I heard that it is possible to install HANA Studio in Windows? And
It depends upon you. If you want to install the HANA Studio on your database itself, on the database server itself, you need to install an additional component for HANA Studio. Okay, there is an additional component. Right now we have only installed the HANA database. Now there are many additional components for the HANA database. For example, the HANA Studio, then you have the HANA client. The HANA client is also an additional component for the HANA database. Then you have AFL, application functional libraries. Then you have the script server. Then you have this XSA, extended service, and then you have this SDA, smart data access. So these are all the additional components for your HANA database. So if you want to install this HANA Studio for your HANA database, you can install an additional component for your within your HANA database. Okay, but in that case, each of your server, the development server will have its own HANA Day Studio, the quality server will have its own HANA Studio, the production server will have its own HANA Studio. Okay, so you have to also you can, I think you can install only one HANA on one of the system, and you can make connection to other systems or from that, for example, development HANA Studio. You can do that. Okay, the point, the reason is that, see, if you install it on the Linux system, now getting the GUI from your Linux system onto your Windows system, sometimes this creates an issue, because the GUI of Linux system is not that advanced and strong as compared to the Windows one. Do you get this point?
Yes, yes.
So this is the reason it is advisable or better to install your HANA Studio on a Windows system and access it from there. So my HANA Studio software has been extracted. Now, if you check in this packages directory, this is the folder which contains your HANA Studio. I can run this command HDB setup and I can do the installation. Okay, it will ask one or two options at the default directory, and that you can have to do the selection and you can install it from here. All there is a simple command over here, this which I've given in the sheet. So you can run this command, and from the command line, and it will directly do the installation. No need of waiting for doing the waiting for the option to come up on the screen, then change it, then next, and with this one command it will do the complete installation of your HANA Studio. Okay, the installation is completed. So now if you want to check the installation, you can check over here. You will see this over here. This is the SAP HANA Studio icon. So just make a shortcut of it on your desktop. When you first time open the HANA Studio, it will ask you for some one-time setup and configuration. Okay, use this as the default option, default, and do not ask again. Launch. Now it will ask you to set up a password, a secure store password. Okay, this is your HANA Studio. So it is a master password was created in the Eclipse secure storage. If you ever need to recover your password, you need a password hint. Do you want to provide a password hint? Yes. If you want a question, just make it a very simple 1 plus 1, answer 2, 2 plus 2, 4. Okay, so now this is your HANA Studio. This is the welcome page. You can close the welcome page. And this is the screen for your HANA Studio. You can start with adding the system in your HANA Studio. Okay, so the first system here it is, give the host name HDB dev, instance number 03, and single multiple container. So it will be a multiple container system database. First we add the system database, then we'll add the tenant database. Must be multiple container system database, and the description dev. This is the development system description dev. Next, here it is asking for the user by which you want to connect to the database. So I'm using the system database user, and this is the password for it. So if you want to store this credential in this HANA Studio, so that the next time if you want to connect to this database, you again don't have to provide this username and password. So you can store it over here. But if this is not a private system, okay, maybe it's like a common system in your office, many people are using this system, so don't save this user ID and password in this HANA Studio, because anybody can open this HANA Studio and they can gain direct access to your system and your tenant database. Finish. So here you can see this is your connection. If you see the green mark over here, it means all services are started, everything is okay, green. Okay, so now we are done with this. Now you can add your tenant database. We have already added a system database. Now add the tenant database. The same hostname, instance number, same, multiple containers, tenant database, the name of your tenant database, the SID of your tenant database, description, again the same description dev. Okay, username and password. Okay, and store username and password in secure storage. Finish. So now you can see you have added your tenant database also. You have added two databases, your system database as well as your tenant database. Yes, is it clear with everyone?
Yes, yes.
So now if you want to see the overview, you can double click on this. You can see all the database related information in this tab. So this is the tab for your system DB. You can double click on the tenant DB also. You will see the tab for the tenant DB. Okay, this is the tab for tenant DB. This is the overview screen. This is the default screen overview. It shows all about your database. All services started. This is a development system. Okay, at what is the last start time of your database? So this is the start time of your database. Okay, what was the most recently services started? If any of the services was restarted, what was the most recent time? Is it a distributed system? No. The version, it is HANA 2.0 revision 59. Okay, build time, and what is the platform? Which OS you are using on? Okay, Linux kernel. Which is the Linux kernel? Alerts is one alert with high priority. You can see the alerts, show alerts over here. So what is the alert? Data backup does not exist. So it is asking you to take a database backup. Without a data backup, your database cannot be recovered. So this is your alert over here. Then SAP HANA memory. So we have by default your system, it is using 28 GB memory. Out of this 28 GB, 8 GB is used, and this one, but the rest is free. So 8 GB is the used memory. 9.1 was the peak. If you see the top pop-up bar, sorry, if you see the pop-up box, it is showing you use 28.50%. Peak is 32.54%. If you want to see more information, you can click over here, more information. You can see the memory usage for each of these services over here. Okay, sorry, this is the CPU utilization. The next is your memory utilization. Yeah, these are the different services: the compile server, daemon service, name server, preprocessor, SAP start service, and the web dispatcher. Okay, and these are the port numbers for each of these service. So here it is, overview. Then for your resident memory, okay, how much memory is assigned on your system? So this is the total physical memory of the system. So by default we have 32 GB, so it is showing us 31.35 GB. So here it is, and out of this it has used up till, if you click on here, use memory 15% and use total is 21.41%. More information, if you click on more information, again it will take you the same screen for this details over here. This is the use memory, the peak memory, effective memory, physical memory on host system. This is for the CPU utilization. The last is for CPU utilization. Here it is for the disk usage. So this is your mount point. This is the size of your mount point. So your mount point is of file system is of 20 GB. Out of this 20 GB, it is using 3.31 GB. Okay, then this is for your log volume. The above was for your data volume. This is for the data volume, and this is for your log volume, and this is for the trace directory and everything. If you want to see the detail, more information, okay, you can see the details over here. So you can click on this for the data. So this is for the database. This is showing you the volume for your system DB. Okay, this is showing you the volume for your system DB. It is located. This is the path /HANA/data/SID MNT00001 HDB 00001. This is the data volume for your this one system DB, and this is the second number. This is for your this is the log volume. This is the log volume. These are the log segments for your name server. But this is for your system DB. If you want to check for your tenant database, you have to come in this screen, and you need to click over here, more information. Here you will see the details of your tenant database. So if you see, click on it. This is for your index server. Okay, the first one is for your index. This is the data volume for your index server. Okay, this is the path for the index server. If you see the second one, this is for the access engine, and this is the data volume for your access engine. Now for the configuration, if you want to do any configuration, you can go into the configuration tab. It contains all the INI files. You have to select for the related INI file. For example, global. If I want to change the path of my backup location or something, I can go into global. Then you have this persistence. Under persistence, you have, for example, this your base path for database backup. So by default, it is backupping up in which location? It is backing up in this location. So what is the value? If you double click on it, okay, it is not giving you the actual the extract the actual location. If you want to check it, you can click on this backup here. Backup, and you can click on the configuration. So this is the path for your backup location: USR, SAP, SID, HDB, instance number. So this is your dir underscore instance. This is the value of the variable dir underscore instance. So this is the variable dir underscore instance. So that is the value. So after that instance directory name, it will add your backup data. Okay, these are the different configuration parameters for your database. Base path for data volume, base path for data volume, ES, ETS. Then for your log, base path for the log backup, it is going into /backup log. Okay, I think that was okay. If you want to check for the trace file, you can go into the this location, trace configuration. Sorry, the diagnosis file. This contains your trace file. You can modify. You can see, you can sort them as per the timing. You can see the date and time. So by this, the latest the latest trace and the log files are on the top. You can double click on it. It will open in a different tab. You can see the content of this trace file. So you can read the trace files over here. So here you can see shutting down log backup, acknowledgement, backup data needed to ensure recoverability. Okay, so I think with this option we have completed our objective for today, that we have set of installing the HANA database and connecting it to your HANA Studio. So any queries and doubt as of now?
Yes, Muzaffar. So
Yes,
what is that a system DB and TNDB?
See, this is not going to be covered in today's class. It will be covered in the next coming sessions. Okay, so
Okay.
no issues with that. I think next topic we have a practical session in the next topic. So only those students who are going to enroll for the batch, I will create the VMs, the lab VMs for those students. In the next class, we will have an installation which will be done by the students themselves. And the next topic will be for the HANA architecture. That in that topic will cover about all these details. What is the system DBA, what is the tenant DBA, and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ansari, I have one question.
Yes.
If I got a new system means, then how can I identify the database SID and the instance number?
Okay, how can you identify the database SID and the instance number?
Yes.
So it's very simple. You can just go into this location. See, there are different locations over here. For example, this is my system. Okay, so here right now, see, I am here in my with my root user. I even don't know which user to log in with. Okay, so if we want to know what is the SID of the system, what you can do is that you can check the content of the etc password file. Do you get it? If you check the content of the etc password file in the last year, you can find all the users for your created over here. So for your HANA database, can you see this is a user for your HANA database system administrator? So you can find out this is the SID ADM of my system. In case if you have multiple SID installation in your system, you will find 2 or 3 database users over here. So from here you can find the user. With this user, you can directly sue to that user. Once you directly SU to that user, you see here you can see this path of the directory. From the directory path itself, you can identify this is the SID of your database and this is the instance number of your database.
Oh, got it. Thank you.
Okay, or also if you don't log in over here, you can directly from your ls/HANA data. If you go into ls HANA data, you can see this is the directory SID directory of your database. You can also check it from df-h. But here there is no SID. Okay, so no, not from df-h, but you can check from HANA data. You can check from /HANA log. You can check ls/HANA shared. So all this directory will contain the directory for with your SID for that installation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also if you can also check in /usr SAP, then add the SID, the H4D, and in this directory you will find this directory, the HDB and the instance number. So from here you can identify the instance number.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, any more? Okay, any limit for creating tenant DB? So right now I haven't come across any situation like this where you can understand if there is a limit or not. So normally it's not like that you will be creating hundreds of tenant databases in your system, but actually I'm not sure about the exact figure, whether there is some restriction and how much restriction is there for that. Let me check. If I get this information, I will share it with you. Yes, any more queries and doubts? And no issues with it. if you don't remember any doubts and queries right now, you can, if you remember it after this session, you can put your query in our group. It will be addressed there itself. No issues with that.
Hi, Ansari. Like which group you are telling?
The SAP HANA training group.
Okay, actually I was not added in that.
You
Like,
you
so
are
what's
not
the...
registered in that, so let me do. I'll share my mobile number in this chat.
Yeah, sure,
You
sure,
can
sure.
send a ping to me, and I will send you the link for joining it.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Okay, I shared my mobile number in the chat.
Okay. Okay, I'll ping you.
Okay, sure. Is it okay? Can we conclude for today's session and wind up?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Sorry. I'm sorry because the Excel sheet which you are discussing, but I don't have
Yes.
that in order to do the practice.
Your voice is not clear.
That group was recently added into that group, so I missed that attachment.
No, can anybody hear what he is saying? Because I'm not able to hear.
Hello?
I've pinged you.
You have pinged me. Okay.
Actually, I think he wants that Excel sheet, whatever you're
Okay, see,
using.
regarding that Excel sheet, I'm sorry with that, but only who will be enrolling for that course will get that Excel sheet. That is the course material.
How can we enroll?
You can see, we'll be continuing with this topic. So today was the second topic. The third topic, as I said, will be for the practical session of HANA installation. After that, in the next Saturday, Sunday, after that, the fourth one will be. So you can pay the fees and you can enroll for the batch, for the course.
What is the fees for that?
You can ping me on my mobile number. I will share you with the catalog and the details about that.
Oh, okay, fine.
Actually, Ansari, I joined like 10 minutes late. Okay, so
Okay.
I missed the starting part, the info part.
So I will share you with the recording with it. You can cover from that part.
Yeah, sure. That will be very helpful.
Yes, sure. I will share the recording with in the group. So anybody can download that recording on their local PC or mobile, whatever they want.
Yeah, that will be helpful, I think.
Yeah, that's okay. No issues.
And please add me to the group. Okay, I have pinged you. Hi.
Okay, yeah, Aftab, I think you are, na?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, I will share the link with you to join the group. No issue with that.
Thank you. Thanks, Ansari.
Hey, actually, me also not there in that group. Can you please share that group link in the chat?
I can't get you. What is it?
Yeah, me also not there in that group. Please
You
share
have
that.
pinged me. Have you pinged me on WhatsApp?
Yeah, sure.
So just I given the number in the chat. Just ping me on WhatsApp and I will add you in the group.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Welcome. Okay, so is it done? Can we close now?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Okay. So yeah, thank you all of you. See you. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.